Hello and welcome to Off the Record Live. I'm Joe Vito. Today we are joined by the wonderful Suzanne Santo.
Oh, hello.
My paisana, as we were just discussing,
pasta.
a fellow. Yes, that's right. A fellow Italian. Today we are broadcasting live on Twitch, which you know if you're watching right now. And we are in East Nashville at a new location, 3 Sirens, which is a very exciting studio. As you can see, we're in this beautiful set with these drums.
Quite a stunner.
Other amazing things.
Is anyone going to play these?
Yeah, and later we're going to get an acoustic a cappella performance from Suzanne on the drum.
My God, funny you should mention. That's going to be great. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, this is the new part of the show where we put people on the spot playing drums. But today we're going to be talking about some really exciting stuff, which is your music, specifically your new record, Yard Sale.
Yes.
Which is really cool. We're also going to be answering audience questions.
Oh, boy.
If you have them at any point, be sending them in. But in the meantime, we're going to kick things off with some icebreakers.
Oh, boy.
Get our conversation
Yeah,
going.
because it's super awkward.
That's right. The ice has not been broken, but we're doing it right now.
Okay.
Okay, my first question for you.
Okay.
If you're getting up early in the morning,
Haha.
do you set an alarm? And what alarm sound
That's
do you
so
use?
funny because I actually changed the sounds this morning because I got up at 5 a.m. And I'm not a fan of the like beep, 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 because it makes me furious. And then I worry for my partner because he's so wonderful that I don't want to, wake up in a rage. But I went with this, I believe it was called Silk on the iPhone. And it was like, blah, 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 wake up. Wake up, Suzanne, and be joyful.
Wow, you got the little like butterfly bird
That's how it
thing
felt.
going on.
Yeah.
Did
I
you-
don't think I was joyful though.
But it felt like that when you were the night before when you were imagining.
Yeah,
waking
yeah.
up.
I was really trying to, tee it up for a solid morning. But getting up at 5 a.m. is difficult for some people.
That's true. Like, do you ever use a song for your alarm or anything like that?
Oh, you mean like a personalized song?
Yeah, like if you like.
No,
put
that's a
on
great
music or
idea though. Oh my God.
something. Well, it's a tricky thing.
What do you have? A
Because
song?
I used to do the song when I was younger, but then I learned that you gotta pick a song that you're gonna hate. Like the song has to become a martyr.
Otherwise you'll
because
stay in your
there's-
deep sleep.
I don't care how good the song
You'll be
is.
sleep inspired.
Well, it's if it wakes you up, you're not gonna like it anymore.
Right. That's fair. Oh, you really have to be specific about that plan.
Yeah, I had Pink Floyd's Time, which starts with all the clocks for a period of time, and that's kind of like a slow intro
Yeah,
too.
yeah, and then it gets aggressive.
Yeah, it gives you a bit of time to be like, oh, am I waking up right now?
Yeah.
Before all like the
Yeah.
comes in. This is a new one I thought of. We try out new icebreakers. I'm excited for this one.
Oh boy.
Is there a life hack that you use in your like day-to-day life?
I get so confused about what life hack means. So, let me think about this for a second.
Well, while you're thinking, I
Yeah.
will say that I went online this morning thinking about life hacks.
Okay.
And I ended up on one of those like life hack sites that
Okay.
just has like the BuzzFeed style
Right.
list where you just go and
Can you give me an example so I can hop on?
The kind of stuff where it's like if you don't have a Bluetooth speaker, you can take like a paper towel roll.
Oh,
and, like, cut
yeah,
it out, put
it's
your
like just
phone
duct
in.
tape it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
the weird stuff like that.
Oh, man.
And I will say that my thought this morning when I was looking at it, I was like, man, this really turned into like a whole like economy. Where there's
Yeah.
like all these different life hack
Yeah,
sites and like the life hacks, they're putting out articles like
Yeah.
every day still, and it's been like they've been doing that for about like a decade.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of life hacks going on.
I mean, God, I'm so mad at myself because this is like part of my, like, we were just talking about hustling. I feel like a life hack is a hustle. It's like your version
yeah.
of like, how do you connect the dots? And right now I'm drawing a blank, but I'll get something.
Okay, well,
yes.
at any point,
Okay.
you if I'm talking even, you can just go, oh, shut up, and then say, I thought of the life hack, and we'll talk about the life hack.
My shortcut.
If you were an inanimate object, what would you be?
I mean,
Oh, no.
I mean,
Oh, you're looking at the drums. I can see inspiration
well, I was
in
thinking
your
about an
eyes.
instrument. It'd be fun to be an instrument.
That's cool. You can still sing.
Because exactly. So I'm going to say a violin.
That's a good one to be.
It'd be nice to be a violin in my next life.
That'd be really cool.
Or a bird. But that's not inanimate,
That
so.
would be cool. You could be a fake bird.
Yes, I'll be a
Plastic
taxidermied bird. How about that?
Yes. Okay. All right. I'm excited to hear your answer to this question because as we've already established, we got 2 Italians
That's right.
sitting
That's
in
right.
here today. Due Italiani. Do you cook? And
I do.
what's your favorite thing to cook?
Ooh, I cook a lot.
that's cool.
Well, that's not true. I haven't cooked a lot lately because I've been busy. One of my favorite things to cook is a red sauce, which takes like all day.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like great to do on a Sunday.
Sunday
Not during
gravy.
the summer particularly because it's hot. So you know, I roast all, like I get all the Roma tomatoes and I roast them and I roast the garlic. And, you know, usually involves day drinking because that's fun.
That's how you cook.
You know,
how are you going to know if it tastes good or not?
I know. And, you know, I like to put pancetta in my sauce. So it's kind of like a chunky sauce. You could almost eat it as a soup if you're wild. But, you know, I'll put that over some stuffed shells or something. You know, sadly, I have some gluten intolerances
That's a
against
terrible
my
thing for
will.
an Italian in America.
So I do a little gluten-free stuff like that. I just feel better. I'll eat it just out of defiance, but I'll suffer from it, you know, because I think it's so wrong that I would
my
have
gosh.
that.
I come from a family of people who struggle with gluten. Have you been to Italy and
I
tried
have.
it there? Because I know that they say that like the way that food production works in the European
It's very
Union,
different in
yeah,
Europe.
there's
Yeah,
no GMOs. And some people
the
are
bread
better with gluten.
and cheese, even everything's different in Europe. You know, I can't recall being particularly uncomfortable, and I ate as much food as I could. So yeah, you know, it's funny. I've only really been to Italy on tour, so I'll pass through. But I did have some days off when I was in Milan. And that was cool. And I sought out some of the best restaurants and thoroughly enjoyed the pasta. Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
You can't really go wrong in most places.
No, not at all. It's all
Like,
good.
even like in Europe, their you know, truck stop food is delicious. It is.
Oh, yes.
Like if you,
absolutely.
I've been through Germany and like pull over, you know, on the bus and like there's like incredible like cheese spreads and buffets of just delicious food.
Absolutely. Yeah, Italian gas stations. They got like the little delicatessen.
Right.
It's like fresh food.
It's
even.
fresh
It's not
food.
even like it's been
I don't know
shipped in.
what
It's
the
like-
hell we're doing over
Yeah.
here, but it's not that.
Wow. Wow. Well, I actually have to kind of like recalibrate my brain for a second because I just got in such Italian mode. I was
yeah.
just thinking of more questions about
It's
food
a good
and
mode.
Italy
We
and
could
all
keep
of that.
talking about food.
Well, we're gonna dive in to more icebreakers for the next 2 minutes. 'Cause
Okay.
It's 1:08. But what was the most recent book that you've read? What was the most recent book you read?
So I read a lot of books at the same time.
How do you do it?
Well, I started reading this book called American Cosmic, which is about the conjunction nonfiction of UFOs, aliens, and technology, and it's really interesting. You know, the truth is out there, and I love to read poetry, and I bought some of Rilke's letters and poems, and there's a book called Rilke on it's on love and other it's like other problems, but it was shockingly so sexual that I was like, oh, geez.
A lot of problems.
Well, you know, you know, like he really had a lot to say in metaphor that was very obvious what he was talking about. But anyway, yeah, those were the last 2 books I've been reading.
Okay, UFOs.
Right.
Do you believe aliens, military intelligence?
I go back and forth because, you know, it's such a taboo subject because like the people that actively study it and are real scientists, like they're very serious about it. And yet there's also this element of being mocked and outed because there's this like, oh, you're crazy if you think about that. If you know, but there's people called experiencers that have, you know, whether it be physical or psychic encounters, that part's really fascinating to me. I've often wondered from my own speculation if like aliens and angels are the same thing, like our version of like, you know, spirituality and the vehicle of like messengers, that maybe we could still call them aliens. I don't know. They might be good buds for all I know. Maybe they work together to try and help us out.
The truth is out there.
We could use a little more help these days if you guys are listening. That'd be great. Thanks. Come on down.
A sci-fi movie.
Your good intentions.
Alien invasion, but it's cool. And they fix everything.
Right?
And we're like, whoa, thanks everyone.
Well, have you ever seen that Alien Invasion on SNL?
No.
Oh my God. Look it up later, folks. It's with Kate McKinnon. And anyway, they have these people that have like two very different abduction experiences. And like one, anyway.
Yeah.
Story for another, someone else's story.
Yeah, we're going to start just doing our own version of skits.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh my gosh. Okay. What's your favorite instrument to listen to just on its own? Like if you were going to listen to like a full record of just like one solo instrument, what instrument would it be?
So it's got to be on its own, not working together. I mean, I would say piano. Piano is gorgeous. And you can make it all peppy and fun, you know, while you're cooking, or you can make it like sad and somber in the morning. I don't know why I would do that in the morning, but every once in a while, I want some sad music when I wake up.
You need to start your day with like a feeling of somberness.
Yeah, it really has a spectrum to it, the piano, and it's beautiful. It's an instrument I don't play, and I wish I did.
You get a whole orchestra out of it.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
See, I didn't say keyboard because that would have been cheating.
That was
Because you could play like, you know, like a synth and have your strings, but, you know, and then be like, oh, no, I want it to be piano.
That would be cool, though.
Like a
if you were-
mellotron or something.
If you were like, Casio
That would have been my life
keyboard.
hack.
Yeah, oh, there you go. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that'd also be a pretty bold answer, too. Just solo,
so bold.
soft synth. That's all I like to listen to. Okay. What was the first concert you've been to?
Oh, funny. Brian Setzer Orchestra.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my mom and my Aunt Diana took me, and there's a photo of me in my olive green American Eagle t-shirt and the cargo pants I was wearing. This was the 90s, mind you. And I got to shake his hand, and I was like, it was like my first, like, oh my God, I just shook a rock star's hand. And, you know, I was like obviously sucked into the performance of just being, you know, enamored with what I was witnessing. And I always loved music, and I was singing since I was a kid. So I think that might have started some ideas for later in life of like, I like what that guy's doing.
Well, that's a great transition
Okay.
into
Should I just step on
our
your next
interview
question?
proper. Icebreakers are over. We have plunged into the deep and cold waters of this conversation.
Oh God, thanks, because I was so uncomfortable.
I want to know a little bit about just kind of your upbringing and kind of the origins of your sense of artistry. So
Sure.
you saw Brian Setzer. You were living in Ohio. When
Cleveland
did
suburbs.
you get into music making yourself?
Well, I was raised in Parma, Ohio, until about junior high. My folks moved to another suburb called Strongsville. But when I was in Parma, I had this great choir teacher in my elementary school, Mrs. Dre, who kind of let me know that I had a singing voice, and it was, you know, something to acknowledge and pay attention to. And you know, I went to public school, so we were given instruments to play, and there was an orchestra and a band. And I remember when I was in fourth grade, the fifth graders came in, because that's when you were allowed to play, and like they all played their instruments, and you could pick one, and like, you know, like the oboe or something. And I thought the cello, but I didn't want to lug that shit around, so I went with the violin. And yeah, just like I think about that a lot. That those parts of my schooling were free, and you know, a lot of that stuff is gone now, so people don't have that. You know, like music programs are the first to go, but that, like, I got really good at violin, and then got a scholarship to my high school, which helped my parents out a lot, and you know, things like that like had like truly shaped my life. But we were, I wouldn't say we were an artistic household at all. We were like Italian, so like, you know, food, loud, fighting with my sisters, lots of love, lots of funny people, lots of laughing, lots of storytelling. My dad loved Jethro Tull and like Journey, and the Eagles, and we would like drive around and sing harmonies. And yeah, like, you know, there's also Cleveland Rock. WMMS was the local station, which played like your butt rock, basically, and all the things that I still love that I'm never sick of. It's a great place to grow up. I was an outdoor kid, was climbing trees, you know, getting banged up and playing games, and it was, yeah. And then music.
That's amazing. When would you say you started considering yourself a songwriter? In like exploring that aspect of taking this musical education that you must have had, which I'm curious too, violin, you probably have at least some music theory under your belt too.
A little bit.
When did you start kind of like bringing all that together and kind of making
Well,
your own output?
it's funny because I put it down for a while. I was a teen model, and I from 14 to 18, and traveled quite a bit, and actually moved to New York City when I was 16. And when I was there, I also started acting. So I was like doing commercials and some TV shows, and eventually like a little bit of film work and stuff. And it was something I really loved. And I had no intention of playing music. And I ended up moving to Los Angeles when I was 19 and going through my first breakup, which was very difficult. And I had no friends there. Oh. So I had my dad's 30-year-old Alvarez guitar, which I kind of just taught myself how to play, and wrote the saddest songs you've ever heard in your life, like really bad. Bad and sad. And just like, you know, in the weird roadmap of life, my roommate had these two best friends. One was a booker for a local open mic, and the other was an engineer who introduced me to Ben from Honey Honey. So it was like this very fortuitous setup where the only comfort I had for a long time was singing and playing and writing songs out of necessity. And then really was like shocked when I was like, oh, this is a job or like a career? Cool.
Do you feel like having the foundational experience of doing the modeling and then
That's
getting
my
into
life
acting gave you like the ability to start navigating a music career with like maybe more knowledge or intention than if you hadn't had that?
I mean, I also did musical theater in like junior high in the summers and stuff like that. So that definitely was a foray into performing. And you know, yeah, I think getting comfortable with that element, it was I forget, like I used to get really, really nervous. And like, I really don't think twice about it now, unless I'm playing a wedding.
Oh, the wedding still
Because like,
gets
I
you.
could mess up my own show all day, but you can't fuck up somebody's wedding. You know, you can't like go mess up the words.
They're
when
gonna remember.
Yeah. It would be awful.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is kind of now moving beyond just like the linear story of your career and talking about your artistry in general, but it's really interesting to me to hear that songwriting was something that you went to in a moment of hardship, where you were going through that breakup, you're in a city that you don't really understand. Mm-hmm. Is that kind of how songwriting has always worked or functioned in your life, as like a way to be able to go and kind of like get your thoughts out?
It's a little of both now, because I had to really, acquire like getting good at it and figuring out that it's two parts. It's like one part other that I can't really explain, that like sometimes I write stuff and I'm like, I don't know where that came from. I can't really tell you, but I know that it was from somewhere important that like feels like a responsibility, you know, without like, you know, sounding like I'm tooting my own horn or something, but it's just like sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I have to write something down, or I have dreams about it.
You write songs?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And or ideas for songs too. It's like a little of both. And then there's just also the requirement to like flex the muscle and write even if I don't want to, and like having it like when it's time to write a record, I really need to just like chip away every day if I can, because like even if I sit down for 2 hours and I set a timer, that's a big one for me because I have ADD and I will just wander. And then it's like, well, what, an hour will go by and I'm just like, I just bought 15 pairs of socks and some cat food and I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know where I went. And then all these socks show up later. But I think that it's just like any instrument, you have to practice and keep your muscles flexed. So when I give it that energy and attention, it gives back. Even if I sit there for 2 hours and I have nothing that I'm proud of, usually the next day it'll just like come right out. It's sort of like you have to like coax it a little bit. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, jumping back into kind of getting your biography, tell us about what the process of being in Honey Honey was like. You were in that group for some time, like 2006 through like around like 10 years. You all were doing that, right?
Yeah, a long time.
What was the creative process like during that time? Were you still writing on your own a lot?
There was a lot of, in the beginning, I'll be honest, it was like a lot of insecurity because like oddly, like people would kind of like pull us apart and be like, you do this and you do this. And they would tell me not to write songs. And I get really mad because I had stuff to say. So, and Ben was always accommodating and like we, eventually figured out our like system and we would either write separately or write together. And we got to a point that it was important to us to not like say specifically who wrote the song, just like written by Honey Honey, because we would always influence each other. And it helped us in just like taking any like competition out of it and making it just, a genuine desire to make beautiful music together. But, in the beginning, before I was confident, it was really hard. There was a lot of pain involved in just like, feeling like a fledgling in the room and usually being the only girl. And it took a while to understand like what that meant and like, holster my ego and like how important music is to me as a listener and as a player and creator that, I cut my teeth on songwriting with Honey Honey. And, eventually when it was time for us to part ways, we were both just kind of writing separately the whole time, which then sort of became like, what's this band? But we both have so much gratitude for it. And we both learned how to play music through that band in ways that like shaped our whole lives. And I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah. So when did Ruby Red, your debut artist as a solo debut album as a solo artist? There we go. I said that and I was like, I definitely just didn't say a sentence. When did that record kind of start coming together as something that you were working on like with intention?
Well, it's funny. Someone asked me like recently, how are Ruby Red and my new record Yard Sale similar and different, and different, separate from each other. And I think of Ruby Red as the departure, and Yard Sale as some kind of arrival. And the departure from Ruby Red, someone's at the door. Do you think they brought snacks?
We're in a home.
Maybe it's cookies.
That would be awesome. Oh my gosh.
I don't know why the first thing that came to mind was like somebody's selling food at the door.
Yeah, there we go.
I guess it's on my mind.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, it's just Italian jeans. It's all going there.
That must be it.
That's what we're thinking about all the time behind the scenes.
Oh my God. Wait, what were we talking about?
We were talking. You were saying something very interesting, which was kind of like the similarities and the differences,
right.
and how you see Yard Sale as like an arrival in a way, which it certainly seems like.
Well, the codependency I had with Honey Honey was like I was terrified to play a show by myself or write my own record because one, I couldn't hide behind the written by Honey Honey. So like if I wrote something, like provocative, I didn't have to like back it up. I could just pretend like I didn't write it or something. And Ruby Red's pretty provocative and has a lot of visceral emotions in it. And it was a terrifying thing to think about doing it by myself because I'd been in Honey Honey for like 12 years. And so Butch Walker produced the record, and before it came out, I opened for him for a month and I played in his band. So I remember playing like the first show by myself I think we were in Tampa, Florida, and just being like utterly terrified. And then getting up there and it was like I was breathing. It was like nothing. And then I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, we're good. And then it's been like that ever since, just like carrying a show by myself or with my band. And I'm like, again, like really grateful for Honey Honey because I just learned how to do that. And yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I am really excited to dive into talking about Yard Sale.
Okay.
But before we do, we're probably going to go to an ad break here. But before we even get to the ad break,
Oh God.
I think I see that we got some questions coming in on the chat here.
Uh-oh.
Catherine.
Hey, Catherine.
Catherine's hiding in another room.
She's got a
We
great
can
sweater on.
barely see her. But she's here. Yeah, look at that awesome Catherine shot. Oh my gosh.
I am here, and we do have some questions.
Hit us.
So Levi Gibson 01 wants to know, what do you feel is the best song you have ever released and why?
Holy hell. Okay. Man, it's like picking a favorite kid. It's going to sound weird, but it's the last like full song I recorded, which is called Save for Love. And, I guess this has some of that other that we were talking about that I wrote it. I realize this is controversial, but I wrote it after I saw Dave Chappelle stand up for Sticks and Stones, which was three specials ago on Netflix. And the first time I saw this stand-up special, I was so moved. I wrote an essay, which why the fuck would I have no idea, but I did. I was just had all these feelings, and every time I'd watched it, like I'd have to create something. And I think that he has this innate ability to talk about difficult subject matter in a comedic way, but in a philosophical way. And it's always stirred something up in me. And Save for Love, I wrote nearly in one sitting after watching that stand-up special for the fourth time. And it speaks to a level of, I guess, maybe my own humanity, but maybe all of us as a collective, and something I desire deeply in this great divide that we have in so many areas. And I'm not really like prone to like sing in a way that feels like I'm preaching or something, or and I think maybe it was really a song to myself about my own reactions to our very divisive society, and how we are so prone to go like this if you don't believe what I believe, or you're a Republican or a Democrat. Like, I really resent that, and I really wish that there could be so much more of a conversation and care for one another. And that's where that impetus for the song started. And I really feel like I don't know where it came from. So.
Wow, yeah, no, that's really beautiful though, and that definitely, hearing you even talk about writing a song from that perspective is like such a powerful thing too. I don't know if you're familiar with Todd Snyder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, East Nashville guy.
Right.
He's got that great quote where he talks about, I'm not necessarily writing these songs with the intention to change other people's minds. I'm writing them to make some sense in my own.
Sure.
And like that's such a powerful
Yeah.
angle to take, and then you get such powerful things like the song that you wrote. Wow. Catherine, we surely have more questions from chat.
We surely do.
Oh.
So Music Fiend 124 wants to know, what are some key characteristics of a good storyteller?
Ooh. Okay.
Italian.
Italian, redhead, by choice.
It's how you know.
Well, it's funny. That's a really, really interesting question. When our storytelling these days is like, it doesn't really feel like storytelling as much when we're inundated with, TV and movies at the rate that we are. It's, you kind of see the same stories over and over. But I guess a good example of a modern great storyteller would be someone that, like Shakespeare. There's not a better storyteller than Shakespeare, who told the structurally, you know, the same story over and over, but the like lush value is in the characters and their emotions and just the incredible detail and nuances of how they lived and the mistakes they made. And, you know, if you're able to translate that unique level of our complexities, I think that's a hell of a storyteller, and something that personally I'm drawn to, because I just want to know how we tick and why and all that stuff. And so if you can hang with that, like, great, go tell me your story, please.
Yes. Oh my gosh, there you go. My personal advice for storytelling is rearrange your sentences so the punchline is the last thing you say. We're going to go to an ad break, I think. I think it's time for the ad break now. But we're going to be right back, and we're going to have an awesome performance.
Are we?
Suzanne. We're going to have a performance. It's going to be music. We'll see you soon. Hello, and welcome back to Off the Record Live! We're here. We're at Three Sirens Studio, which is a really beautiful space. We're about to hear 2 songs from Suzanne.
Oh, God.
Which is perfect because this place is a recording studio. It's used as like an artist kind of collective. It's made for songs, made for these kind of things. It's a new space. They're letting us be here today.
Yeah.
And so I hope y'all are looking at it and enjoying it on the stream, because it feels really good to be here. And it feels even better to be here with such great music.
Jeez, thanks, Joe.
What songs are you going to play for us today?
I'm going to play Mercy and then Save for Love, because we've been talking about it. But also I was going to play it anyway.
A little behind the scenes
lie.
action here on Off the Record Live. You never get that. I'd love to hear these songs. What can you tell us about Mercy? Give like a little little back of the book.
Sure.
Intro.
Also, kind of an emotional, just kind of came right out. Reflections on my childhood and nostalgia of where I'm from and what it was like then and kind of like what it's like now. And these, you know, I guess tools that I developed then that I could say, you know, apply to my life now.
All right, well, I'd love to hear it.
All right, thank you. It's called Mercy. Mama came running out of the house, a wild look in her eyes. You trailed her all the way down the block till she sat right down and cried. Curtains swaying in every window, cracked Venetian blinds. Yeah, it could be any one of us with a broken mind. Yeah, it could be any one of us with a broken mind. And I learned about mercy. I learned about mercy for everyone else and for myself. I learned about mercy. Yeah, I was just a kid then, skinning my knees in Woodbury Hills, trying to make a little sense. When my heart got crushed when the cat got killed, was a mean man down the block, was keep outside in his poison milk. How I learned to keep the door locked, the thought of it still gives me chills. And I learned about darkness. I learned about darkness, heavy like sick or hidden in a kiss. I learned about Always fought with my sisters. White knuckle and nonsense, hands full of blisters. They felt like strangers. They still do now, but sometimes they're saviors. Sometimes they're saviors. And I learned about changing. I learned about changing. You win some, you lose some. Cry about things that used to be fun, but you're changing. Yeah, we're changing. Yeah, we're changing.
Folks, we set the bar at music. You exceeded. That was awesome. That was really beautiful. That little stop you did at the end there on that win or lose line, and then you did the little finger thing. That was awesome. That's skillful right there.
Thanks, Joe.
That's what I'm here for.
Appreciate
That's
that.
why I get paid to host
You're
this
such
show.
a sweetie.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, God. This guy's a sweetie.
Folks, remember that. Remember that I'm a sweetie. Tell everyone you know. Tell folks who aren't watching the live stream right now that if they wanted to log on the internet and check out a grade A sweetie.
You know, your
Here I
next
am.
life hack, if you get in trouble and you make a poor choice and someone's mad at you, you could be like, but I'm a sweetie.
Yes, there we go. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to hear the song that we've talked about
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Quite a bit, so I should just play it.
Save for the love.
Save love.
Save love.
Save for love.
Oh.
I
Save
got it
for
wrong.
love.
I'm
so
tired.
What's the name of the song?
It's called Save for Love, I think.
Save for love.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's not the number 4, but that would have been cool.
Oh, that would have been trendy.
I know.
All right, let's hear it. I can't wait.
Light that pipe, make it burn red, make it hiss like the storm that's at your window. Fill up those lungs, honey. It won't be long before the moment's gone and you're dealing with your sorrow. Take what you can get. Count all of your blessings, 'cause that hurricane ahead might be never ending. Rain in hell, I know. No one's gonna sleep through this one. There ain't no shelter, ain't no walls that's gonna hold it all together, safe for life. Man, those busted bridges. Hold yourself accountable. Give that soul deep within you a voice like a parable, and make room for the hateful. Seat 'em at your table. Give 'em bread for their broken hearts and kindness if you're able. 'Cause it's rain in hell. I know. No one's gonna sleep through this one. There ain't no shelter, ain't no walls that's gonna hold it all together, safe for love.
gets heavy, honey, no, you're not alone. There's arms here at the ready to help you bear the load. No, it ain't a one-way road. We gotta do this thing together and grow. 'Cause it's raining hell. Oh, no. No one's gonna sleep through this one. There ain't no shelter, ain't no walls. It's gonna hold it all together, safe for love. Safe for love. Safe for love. Safe for love. Safe for love.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Bravo, as an
Thank you.
Italian person would say. We're going to go to another ad break, but we're going to be back with more conversation, more answering your questions. If you have them, you can send them in.
God.
Catherine's reading them right now. It's going to be cool. Stick around. We'll be right back. Hello! Welcome back to Off the Record Live. That was an amazing performance. It earned the superlative amazing
Oh,
by
wow.
the end there.
Thank you.
Really
Very
pulled
nice
it
of you.
together.
Very generous.
And a lot of our viewers agree. We got TCB every day, who's vibing, and then sent 3 different squid emojis, which I think is pretty exciting.
What does that mean?
It says here, and I'm not kidding, Squid 1, Squid 3, and Squid 4 when you hover over these little squids.
Okay.
And so
What? Cool.
we're learning about Twitch. Thank you. We also got Y the band, who's really enjoying this too. And
Thanks, guys.
love this amazing stream. All
All
caps.
right,
Yeah, so we're
okay.
doing good. In fact, Catherine, I think you got a question from the chat that you're going to throw our way.
I do. It's from Why the Band.
Oh, our friends.
They
got?
want to know, do you ever have a song idea arrive without a lyric? Do you ever just fudge a vocal until the words are fleshed out?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great way to do it too. You get, well, I play guitar. I play electric guitar, and I love to play guitar. So I actually have a good deal of those said ideas with like, squeebity beep bop. And I'm just kidding. I don't do that over it. But, you know, like Tenacious D, like, anyway. And that song sounds like it's going to be a hit.
That's how you know. The radio can't resist when you go zibba-daboo. and
Yeah,
stuff
but
like
totally.
that,
You sing a melody and then eventually some meaningful, hopefully meaningful words come through. Yes.
Absolutely.
Good question.
Shout out Why the Band for sending that in. Now, the songs you just played for us are off
Yes.
of your new record,
Yes.
Yard Sale.
Yard sale.
You wrote this, Yard Sale. Yeah, okay. The nuance of the pronunciation here. You wrote this record on tour with Hozier.
Yes,
in-
Hozier.
Hozier.
Hozier like cozier. I had to be coached as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's okay.
which,
You're not the
yeah,
only one.
big. Well, yeah, I don't feel bad about that one.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like most people still, Hozier.
Some people call me Susan, and no one will ever find them ever again.
The Italian! Hey, sorry.
I don't know what happened to them.
Hozier.
Yeah.
You were writing this record while kind of on that tour. What was that
was.
experience like? I mean, reading about it, and folks, if you haven't like gone online and explored the online world of Suzanne Santo,
Whoa.
you should go check it out because there's a lot of great music and there's a lot of great content and stuff out there. But it really seems like this was a period of your life that was kind of defined by transition in a way, but also like finding clarity in a way, and maybe even like it seems like a paradigm shift
Yeah,
may or
it
may
was-
not have occurred.
It was a big one. What was a death of sorts of things, of old ways and some maybe cycles that needed to be broken. And for the beginning like months I was in the band, and I did about a year with them. And during that year, I was home for 50 days. That's how long I was gone, which was like a real experience. This was before I had cats. But I for a little while, I had this bad narrative going where I told myself that my music career was over and that I was going to be a hired gun for other people, but my days of creating my own music, and I was, saying not nice things to myself, and I missed opportunities. I missed my boat or whatever, and there is no boat. But I got to a point where about halfway through, I opened for him for a little while in Europe, and as well as played in the band, which was a great opportunity and just a huge amount of fun. But I got such a nice reception that my agent at the time was like, you need to come back. And I was getting festival offers for the following summer, which was awesome. And therefore, I had to make a decision if I was going to leave this band and go back to my music. So I did that very respectfully. We had a great, amicable parting of ways, and I stayed longer so I could help them find a replacement. But I got to a point where I had to write all the time, and not because I wanted to. It was like it was just a necessity. It was like bursting out of me. And so I was writing on the bus, in hotel rooms, in parks, backstage, anywhere I could. And in sort of like all the iterations of my many lifetimes I lived on that tour came out in Yard Sale. So it was like this unpacking of sorts, which is where the name comes from. And there's something for everyone.
There you go. This is a multi-layered idea, concept, high concept.
Also, there's this term, like if a lady accidentally dumps out her purse and all her shit's everywhere, it's like yard sale. It kind of feels like that too.
Multi-lever concept.
Like, here's all my
shit.
shit.
Gosh, wow. This is totally random, but are you a fan of Leonard Cohen by chance?
Yeah, of course.
Because a lot of what you're saying reminds me of certain things that he said. He's got a great poem out of Book of Longing that talks about the urgency of songcraft. And how it's more than an exercise. It's to his being. I think it's like a poem, and the last line's all caps. It's like, I am a creature that needs to sing, and this kind of relationship a writer can have where the music, like you said, it's not something that you're necessarily even choosing to do. It's like these ideas have this urgency to them. They're demanding to be sung.
It's a weird feeling though, because I struggle a lot with worthiness and not wanting to feel like when I express that sentiment, I don't want it to seem like I think I'm really important, it feels like a really sensitive thing to say because, it messes with my humility and stuff like that and wanting to I don't know. I guess this is a conversation for my therapist, but but yeah, I understand that feeling, and it's a weird. I mean, I should say I chose this path, and it's really hard. Money is always an issue. Relevance of if your music is going to be received and you're gonna get be able to make a living off of it, and so I guess in that respect of Leonard Cohen's idea, I can hang with that, and it is there's no guarantees that you will have some sort of grand success when you dedicate yourself to it. So I kind of resonate more with that side of it.
Yeah. Well, Leonard enjoyed a little bit better of an economy for music makers as well.
He did okay.
Oh my gosh, wow. Well, it's an amazing record.
Thank you.
Both in terms of just your melody writing, just on a strictly musical level, it's a really phenomenal
Thanks,
record. Not
Joe.
even diving into the themes, which the themes are really great too, which y'all at home just heard listening to those songs. It's also got some fun guests on it, like Shaky Graves and Gary Clark Jr. I know that you've done some stuff with Gary in the past too.
Yeah.
How did y'all get in contact and start collaborating together?
Well, I've known Gary for 10 years, and we were playing at a show, playing the same show at the Sunset Marquee in Los Angeles years ago. And we've just kind of orbited around, and as he was getting more and more famous, every time I'd see him, I'd reintroduce myself. And I'd be like, hey, it's Suzanne from Honey Honey. And eventually he's like, I know. And like, it's good to see you. And oddly, when I was out with Hozier in Australia playing the Byron Blues Festival, which was very cool on the Gold Coast. I'd never been there before. I ran into Gary and Shaky. We all had dinner together, and I, let him know, this was like July 2019, I think, that I was heading back to the States and working on a record, and that we should, get together and hang out. And as it turned out, they wanted to do that, and I was very surprised. Like people say things sometimes, but they don't usually follow through, or they don't always follow through. And I love them both a lot. They're both people I look up to. They're my friends. They're so talented, and they embody the thing I love most about Austin, which is this camaraderie that I never feel like a local competition as much as a local, like everybody takes care of each other. They play music together. They create together. And I'm very fortunate that they wanted to hang out and make songs.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, I can't blame them for wanting to, because the songs ended up so good.
Thank
on
you.
the record. Definitely check those out at home. The album's been out for a few months now.
August 28th.
Yes, that's right.
Late, hot summer.
And in my head, I'm really struggling with the math of it's been a few months
It's
since
okay. I know it's
August.
November.
Ah,
It's mid-November.
don't even say that.
I know.
Take it back.
You can listen to Christmas music. That's fine.
I agree. I'm not one of these Thanksgiving purists. I'm going to listen to Thanksgiving
am I.
music? I don't think so. It
No,
doesn't
I love that
exist.
Vince Guaraldi Peanuts Christmas album. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, you can't
love
you
it.
can't deny it. You can't
so
deny it.
good. Talk about piano.
Yeah, there you go. How do you feel? How does it feel to have this record out? This
man.
kind of destination, this death, this shift in your
Yeah.
artistry.
Thank you. It's been really good, and some of it was really scary, to be totally honest and vulnerable. Like, it kind of went like this and then like this, and that's how it goes. And I haven't been able to do much touring, so it's like it's going to exist wherever it's going to exist. And the more I appreciate its release and not trying to have any control over where it goes, then I'm in a really healthy place of gratitude. So far, it's been really beautifully received, and I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, I mean, it's like, it is weird. Like, once it's out, you're kind of like, well, shit, what do I do now? My vinyl's on back order, so that won't get here
Supply
until February.
chain.
So that'll be interesting, around February when I get to start getting vinyl out there. But yeah, it's like, I hear like people that run a marathon. I've never run a marathon, and I never will. But people that do, like, there's this like weird thing that happens afterwards, where you get the blues,
Post-marathon blues.
It's like postpartum blues. Probably your feet look bad too, but
Yeah,
so I've
never
heard
run a
about
marathon
toenails.
either, so I don't know.
But it's like that. My feet look bad after I release this record.
That'll be the big pull quote. And
can't blame it
that
on the
beautiful
record.
note, I have no more questions. Either, so I hope you.
I'm so happy, Joe.
Seriously though, this has been a wonderful conversation.
Likewise.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks
and
for having
sharing
me.
these songs and for sharing part of your story with us. It's
Thank
been
you.
Fantastic. Yard Sale is out now. You can get it wherever you get music. You should go listen to it. You should definitely go check it out. Load up like the lyrics. You got like your lyrics on YouTube too, which I like. The lyrics were in all caps too.
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, yes.
We're yelling.
Here they are. That's right. Folks, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for commenting, sending in your questions, making this the great vibe it is. Thank you to Neon Media and American Songwriter for being our online hosts on Twitch, which is a wonderful platform because you're here on it and so are we. We want to thank Three Sirens for hosting us here in East Nashville. This has been a wonderful vibe to do this awesome live stream. And if you are a musician or an artist, or if you live in East Nashville, definitely like try to check this place out or inquire online. It's a really, really cool, dope place. And they gave us little cans of coffee
Oh, I didn't get a can of coffee.
Oh no! Ugh, never mind.
been hiding that,
never
Joe?
mind. Never mind. They didn't give us any coffee at all.
I'm really happy for you.
Yeah. Never mind. But maybe if they're like you a little bit more, they'll give you some coffee. But seriously, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. My email address is joe.vitagliano@americansongwriter.com. Let me know what you think of the mustache. We're trying it out. This is the first stream I've done with it. I don't know. Send me an email.
You didn't do it for Movember, did you? You just did it.
No, I just did it. I'm not raising awareness for anything other than I want to know whether or not people like, if it's working. I'm open. I mean, send me your thoughts. But that's all I got. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you all for tuning in. This has been Off the Record Live. I hope you all have a great day. I love you. Good night.